welcome back. So this video I've called What About the Other Notes, because so far we've been using these white notes to play our Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and other tunes, but what about these notes? When do we use them and how do we use them? So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the keyboard. So if we go up the piano using all the notes, don't worry about how I'm doing this at the moment. You can hear the distance between each note sounds exactly the same, and that's because they're all a semitone apart. So then two semitones make a whole tone. So semitone like semicircle, so that's a whole tone. Yes, I know we've got these unusual situations here and here, but thank goodness we do, because otherwise we'd find it really difficult to find our way around the piano. So in fact, that is also a semitone, and so is that. But we'll talk about why that's important in a minute. Now I'm going to play you the scale of C major, and it so happens that the scale of C major just uses these notes. So don't worry about which fingers I'm using at the moment, we'll talk about that another time, but just listen to how it sounds. So we can start our major scale on any note, but the important thing is it has to incorporate the same order of tones and semitones. So let's take a closer look. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Listen one more time. So let's prove this and pick another note and have another go at a major scale. And I'm going to pick G this time. So listen to the scale first of all, and then you'll see something different's had to happen. Right, so you can see I've had to incorporate one of these notes. Let's find out why. So our pattern, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, we need another tone. That's a semitone, isn't it? So let's go to this one, which gives us a tone, and then a semitone. Listen to it without using this note and you'll see why we need it. You can hear it doesn't sound quite right at the end, does it? So what we've done is we've had to sharpen the F before we go back to the G. And sharpening a note means we go up half a tone or a semitone. So the note we need for G major is F sharp. You can think of it as sharpening a pencil, so it's shorter or higher. I know that's a bit of a leap, but it's just to remember that we sharpen a note and it goes up half a tone. By the way, if you see music and there's a sharp written in a bar, so for example an F sharp's used, the convention is that goes on through the bar. You don't need to write the sharp sign in front of the F anymore during the bar. We know that it applies to every F. Every F in that bar becomes an F sharp. The other thing to remember is these notes are a lot shorter obviously than these, so when we're playing them we just
shift our fingers in slightly so we can reach them easily. So let me show you that scale of G again. So you see, I'm not having to stretch or change my position for any of my other fingers, which is important. Every other finger stays on the note it normally is. We just need to make sure that that one's ready for the sharp. Okay, so we know the order of tones and semitones for a major scale, so let's try the same thing beginning on D. I'll just play you the scale first so you can hear what it sounds like. And you can see we've needed to add in another sharp because we've got tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. And just to prove we need that, let's hear it without those sharps. So you can hear it doesn't sound quite right.
So let's go back to the piece we were learning last video, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So what we could do is we could start that on any note now, as long as we remember when we need to use these. The reason we might need to use these is because we're changing our key. So we're going to have a go now at working out how to play it beginning on D. And that would actually mean we were in D major, and we'll talk more about keys another time. And the important thing we've got to remember when we're doing this is that we keep the distance between each note and the next the same. So we'd start it off, and that distance between notes in music is called an interval. And actually, we count the first note as 1, so we're going up 5 notes. You might have noticed I needed an extra sharp in there, and I'll show you that when we look at the music. That's a 5th. Now let's look at the music and hear it again. So now let's hear it hands together. Now let's look at the music and hear it again. So good luck practicing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in a different key, which is what you're doing when you start it on a completely different note. Don't forget, when you're playing these black notes, they're shorter, so you do shift your fingers in order to be able to play the notes, and remember all the other fingers stay in the same place. Good luck and enjoy playing the piano.